Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Positive Vibes. I have a special guest in house, and this is some information that we all need to know. And as you guys know, that September is Prostate Awareness Month, and we are at the last day of September. So I was graciously gifted by God and the Spirit to reach out to Victor, and he's been available this morning to come on to talk to you guys about prostate cancer, some of the statistics, and what you still can do to maintain a healthy life with prostate cancer. So, Victor, if you would just tell the people in the world about some of the things that you've been doing this month. It's been a very busy month for you, and it's been a very prosperous one for you to help save lives of those around the world with prostate cancer. So, Victor, if you would just give the audience a glimpse, and it's kind of, you can't put it small because you do big things, but do your best to give people the real deal, as you know, regarding prostate cancer and what one can do right now if they're overwhelmed, like, oh, I gotta, what test do I need to get? My dad died of prostate cancer. Am I, susceptible to receiving that? Is my children susceptible to receiving that? When is the next free screening? Where can I go in my community to get a screening? Could you let them know about that?
Yes.
I'll give the mic to you.
Yes. First, good morning to everyone. And also, I want to thank TrayLou for reaching out to me to talk about this most important thing in my life at this time, prostate cancer awareness, prostate cancer screening, because I am a prostate cancer survivor of 15 years now. What I task myself to do is to go around and make sure I enlighten men as well as women the importance of getting screened, early detection. And I want to show you something. There's a sign behind me. I carry everywhere I go. You can survive. You can survive if caught early, meaning early detection saves lives. Prostate cancer itself has a 99.5 survival rate if caught early. Mine were caught early. That's why I'm able to be here and talk with you today about the urgency and importance of getting screened. As Miss Tracy said, I actually advocate for prostate cancer. I'm a champion for zero to end prostate cancer. I go all over the United States to different conferences, to different sessions, learning, educating myself on the different uh, um, um, programs out here, different um, things you can do if you are a suspect on prostate cancer itself, new researches that's coming out. Uh, and I then bring it back to Little New Bern, which I call it the biggest state in the United States, as well as the biggest county in North Carolina, Craven, New Bern, North Carolina. So I want to share with the men what I've learned, and that's the purpose of getting information is to share it versus getting it and keeping it to yourself, because it's not doing anybody any good but yourself. So I want to make sure no man had go through what I had to go through when I was diagnosed, because at that time when I was diagnosed, there were no cancer at all throughout my family, nowhere, no history of cancer, whether it's prostate cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, or any type of cancer. So I had no idea. So once I was diagnosed, myself, and I'll tell you a little testimony since she left it open for me. I don't know
Yes,
how.
please do.
So I'm going to give you my testimony. This is what I share all over the United States. Very good friend of mine. A lot of you all know him from local area. Definitely would know him. Dr. Sidney Barnwell. He started the prostate cancer awareness screening information testing here in Norca and New Bern. And when I was diagnosed, when I got back from the military, he was doing screenings here in New Bern. And I'm just gonna say it just like this. God told me to take men to get screened. So I wound up, I think I took 3 vans to get screened. And out of the 3 vans, I was the only one that came back positive for suspect for prostate cancer at that time. So the first thing, as I was always told when there's a crisis, is to pray. Okay, so I did the praying. Then the second thing is, they always tell you when it comes to medical, get a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I said, well, I'm proud military, so I'm a veteran. Let me reach out to the VA and see if I can get second opinion from them. So I did, and I went to Durham, and they gave me another test, which is the test is because you come back to back up real quick. The procedure on prostate screening, there's 2 steps that you must take. This is what I'm saying. Some urologists, oncologists, some of them will say, no, you don't. It's only one, but it's really 2. PSA, which is the blood, and the DRE, which is the DRE is the digital rectal exam. Some of the urologists are saying you don't need that. Me, I'm an advocate for that because when you do getting blood tests for the PSA to check it for prostate issues, the PSA, my PSA was 0. And normally if it's 0.4 or 0.4 or above, then you start being concerned. But mine was 0. So I could have stopped there and said, okay, I'm okay. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and do the DRE, which is a digital rectal exam. When they did that, that's when they found an abnormality on my prostate, which, okay, an abnormality means there's something wrong, okay? So when something's wrong, you just don't want to just deal with it. You don't want to figure out what's the problem. So at that time, it's still a prostate cancer issue. It is not prostate cancer until you do the next step, which is the biopsy at that time to find out if the cells are cancerous or not. And they did 11 cultures, and I think 8 of mine was cancerous. So at that time, I said, okay, let's do something. So I spoke to the doctors, and they said, okay. At that time, you got to remember, I said 15 so years ago, they only gave me 2 options. The option was do something or do nothing. Okay. And at that time, I had no issues. I knew nothing about cancer. So my thought is, if I got cancer, I need to do something about it. So I chose to do something about it, and I did. So back to the PSA. The PSA would diagnose 69% of anything issues with your prostate. The DRE would diagnose 31%, the remaining of the 100%. So that's why I'm an advocate for it, because the 31%, if you don't do it, there's 31% out there that chances that you have not checked, have not looked at. And that's how mine was. If I wouldn't have done the DRE, I don't know if I would be here to talk to you like I am, because then I wouldn't have known I had cancer unless I did the other part. So I'm an advocate, a strong advocate for the PSA as well as the DRE. I got a saying that you can't have one without the other. There's a potato chip commercial that said that years ago, and I'm sticking with that. So I definitely advocate for the DRE, digital rectal exam, the light blue glove. Everybody knows that light blue glove, men and women. Uncomfortable for a moment, but worth a lifetime. Uncomfortable for a moment, but worth a lifetime. A lot of men don't want to do that, and I didn't like it either. But I knew it needed to happen to verify my health condition at that time. So I decided to be my own health advocate and move forward with the checking. So when I said earlier, I'm talking to men and women because I grew up in an area where there was a saying that ladies, nag your husband or nag your friend to death to make them do something. I tell them to nag them to life and have them do something, meaning nag them until they go to the doctor. Make sure, we men, we would do stuff for our ladies or our mothers or our sisters just to shut them up. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. That's why I say, I talk to ladies. Yeah, ladies don't have a prostate. Okay, some I've had some that says yes they do, and they don't. It's only a men issue. However, whatever directly affects us, indirectly affects the ladies. Okay, the girlfriend, the mother, the sister, indirectly affects them. So it's important. And sometimes I speak to churches. Dr. Barnwell and myself, we were speaking to a lot of churches throughout Jones, Craven, and Pamlico counties. And then sometimes the church is just full of ladies or just women in there. And I continue my conversation. And then some people ask you, why are we talking to me? The reason why is we want you to get your loved one to the doctor and share information with the ladies so they'll know more about it. Even we uh, uh, have a tendency of not wanting to talk about our issues. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we talk in the bed, and I call it pillow talk. So sometimes we talk to our significant other, the spouses, and they hear you, but they don't believe you until they hear it from someone like myself that's actually giving a presentation at a church, at a family union, class reunion, wherever someone is giving a presentation on prostate cancer, they hear it again. Now they can relate what
Mm-hmm.
the spouse is saying or the boyfriend or girlfriend is saying, and now they say, okay, it's like the Bible. You know, you don't never read the Bible, so you don't really understand what the pastor is saying. But when you read that Bible, you understand a lot more now what he's saying because you read it yourself and you see it yourself. So it's important to share information not just with men, but more so with men and women. Everyone that will listen, and then you get opportunity. Okay, a little bit more about prostate cancer. Like I said, it's 99.5% survival rate if caught early. So we ask you to get screened. African American men are more susceptible to get prostate cancer than any other race. At this time, we're not sure exactly. Maybe it's the food we eat, and maybe the way we prepare our food, or I consider and I say that health disparity because some of the areas that most of the areas that African American reside in, the health, um, the health, what I'm gonna say, the health,
Healthcare advantages, or the possibilities of getting healthcare advantages, healthcare at an early age.
exactly, it is the numbers are lower there because we're limited to our health, like you said. So we have that problem already, and it's not our problem, but we are the ones that's subjected to those issues. So that could be some of the reasons as well. But we there's three risk factors on prostate cancer itself. It's either it's one African Americans, uh, two over the age of 40, three is family history. Uh, we as African Americans, we had a tendency of not following up or not checking on our family history, so we don't know our family history. We don't know if our uncle or granddaddy had prostate cancer and a demise from that or something like that. So we have to do more on finding out what our history is, and then move forward with that. Most men at the age of 40, your prostate starts growing after the age of 40, right at the age of 40. And under, your prostate is the size of a walnut. That's why you hear a lot of questions, a lot of statements about walnuts, because the prostate is the size of a walnut at the age of 40 and below. Then at the age of 50, it gets the size of a golf ball. And then every 10 years after that, it gets bigger and bigger. So I say that to say this, that when I speak on prostate, I don't sugarcoat my presentation, because you need to hear, everybody needs to hear everything so they won't walk out not knowing everything they need to know. So as your prostate gets bigger, your urethra runs through your prostate. So as it gets bigger, it sometimes can squeeze up on your urethra, restricting the flow of urine. Sometimes you got side effects similar to prostate cancer when it's not prostate cancer. So there's two issues that you can have. One is prostate and enlarged prostate, and the second one is prostate cancer. So when you get the biopsy or the MRI now, that can determine whether it's cancer or not. So because you have symptoms, it might not be prostate cancer. It could be enlarged prostate. Now, most prostate cancer does not have symptoms at the early stage. When you start getting symptoms, the stages will get a little higher. So that's why it's so important to get screened starting at the age of 40, and then every year after that.
So
Okay.
let's talk about some of the symptoms, and let's talk about some of the symptoms as well as talking about the age, the earliest age that you should be tested. Because let me tell you this real quick. and I don't want to go into breast cancer, but I remember when, the breast cancer, they were like, well, you should get, checked at, I think it was like 32, whatever age it was. But
Yeah.
I ended up going earlier just because I was there. And they were like, well, you don't have to go for like another year. I said, well, I'm here. I might as well get it done then. So I've been going ever since then. So back to prostate cancer, because this is what we're focusing on today. What is the earliest age that one can get checked for prostate cancer? And also, when they have their physical, what are the questions that they should ask their doctor or tell their doctor some of the symptoms that they're having so they can say, hey, this is an issue. We need to take some tests.
First, good question. Thank you for bringing it up. The earliest age determines on those risk factors. Okay. Number one, African American. Number two, 40-year-old and family history. We're recommending, and a lot of urologists throughout the United States and different organizations are recommending African American men to get tested start to get tested at the age of 40. Any other race start getting tested at the age of 45. Now, if you're 37, 38, 35, and you have family history of prostate cancer, that's a term that tells you right there, and you need to start getting tested as early as possible. Mm-hmm. So with that said, when you go to let's say, I'm gonna say it like this: if you have a headache, you wouldn't go to a foot doctor. Mm-hmm. If you have an issue, you wouldn't go to a neurologist. You'll go to that specialist that deals with that issue. Going back to that is, if you have a prostate issue and you go to and I'm getting to some of the side effects, you go to an urgent care or family practice, that's not their field. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to want to do it because they're going to get stuck on that age of 40 and above. And that's not their field. So they don't really like doing it or don't know what they actually feeling for when they do the DRE. So they prefer not to do it. When that happens, my recommendation is find another doctor, okay? Or get a referral from that urologist or that family practice to go to or if you go to an urgent care or a family practice and they don't want to do it, find another doctor or get a referral from them to go to a urologist, oncologist, radiologist to actually get the screening done, because that's what they've been trained to do and that's what they do every day. So I say definitely get it done. Family history is a big determining factor because it runs in the family. Believe it or not, prostate cancer, all types of cancer runs in the family. Going back to where you said on the breast cancer, let me get to the question that side effects. If you are frequent getting up throughout the night, frequently using the restroom, or you're having issues with, and like I said earlier, I don't want to sugarcoat my presentation, or you're having issues with your sexual activities, or you're having issue with urinating, stopping and going when you urinate, and it's not clearing out your bladder. Those are some of the side effects that you should make mention to your doctor that you're having those issues, and those are some of the side effects you got a prostate issue. So those are some of the things that people go there with: ED, incontinence, can't urinate, frequent urination, or not clearing out your bladder when you urinate. So those are some of the side effects that some men will go to the doctor with those issues. Going back to breast cancer, as you see, I have a shirt on that says not all cancer is pink, okay? And prostate cancer color is light blue, so that's why I got it in light blue, because as you said earlier on the introduction, prostate cancer month is September, this is the last day of September. Tomorrow starts October the 1st, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as of tonight at 12 o'clock, there will be pink ribbons on your bananas. There will be pink ribbons on the football field. There'll be pink gloves on the football field. There will be pink gloves on a highway patrol vehicle here in North Carolina. I'm not going to say what county. That's taxpayers. That there's a lot of awareness out here for breast cancer. Yeah, don't get me wrong, breast cancer is important, and some men can get breast cancer. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I say that to say this. Um, I try to go to Capitol Hill every year in February to advocate for funding for prostate cancer research. The last time I was there, we advocated and we got $120 million. Breast cancer was advocating, was no one there. They got 150 million. Okay, so I'm saying that there, everybody's recognizing breast cancer, but nobody's recognizing prostate cancer. And the reason why I say that is because I want to make sure that prostate cancer is a household word, just like breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I can only speak on prostate cancer because that's what I'm living from. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I say that say this: men can 100% of men can get prostate cancer. Small percentage can get breast cancer. So when it's time to get screened, men go get screened every year. Men, you can also get screened for mammogram. You can also get a mammogram. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
ladies, when it's time to get your mammogram, make sure you get it on time. Like you said earlier, 32 and 35. But every 3 years after that, you do a mammogram. Prostate cancer is every year. Colonoscopy is every 3 years or so. But whenever they call for a screening, make sure you get it screened. Men that don't have insurance, by all means, there are clinics in every county. Please make sure you be your own health advocate. Go to the clinics, ask them to do a screening. Like I said earlier, if the doctor don't want to do your screening, find another doctor. Okay, but make sure you're being your own health advocate. Ladies, nag your man or your loved one to the doctor. Nag him to life. They'll get tired of hearing it and they'll go to the doctor.
So
So
one last question I have, or not last question, but when we're talking about, we talked about the earliest symptoms and the earliest things to talk about. So when a man doesn't urinate fully, that also affects the kidney. Am I correct? So,
I can't, as a advocate and not a specialist, I can't say that. I've have heard that, but I can't say that's true or not true.
I understand. I'm speaking. I guess I'm thinking from a women's perspective, like you just analytically, and I'm not a specialist at all. But if you, I mean, that's where UTIs come from, and all these other things come from. So if you're, I guess, just thinking, and we'll get more on that. We'll have a specialist on next time to talk about that. But I'm just thinking, if you're not urinating right the way
Right.
you should, then that's going to be the backup of water or fluid that's going to be on your kidneys and things like that, which could be swelling and a lot of other things, like if your heart's not working correctly. Now,
I,
I want to move off the subject. However, now, how does one locate a bona fide urologist? What if their insurance, you say if their insurance doesn't carry it, there are places that they can go to get it done. How do they find out community centers in their neighborhoods and a bona fide doctor that would do that?
health department. Most every county have a health department or a connection to a health department. They will direct you if they don't have a urologist in their facility, the department. They will outsource you to a urology department. Even if you go to a clinic, the clinic will have connections to urologists in the area. We have one county here that has no urologist. Uh, our county flows over to that county to help them out with their urology, oncologist, radiologist needs. So to find one basically is to reach out to your clinic, reach out to your health department. They can direct you into that, in the direction of a urologist, oncologist, radiologist. However, myself, Dr. Bonwell started it, but I tucked the in and I'm continuing doing. I do actually facilities throughout the state of North Carolina come to and help me out, and I actually do screenings right here, which is
Mhm.
totally free. Last one we did a 3 hour screening right here in New Bern. We screened over 200 men. That is a large number. That's one of the largest number throughout the state of North Carolina. So their screening will be coming back. I'm putting together one now, and I will announce. And I might ask you to see if I can come back on and then mention it when I. And
Now,
then
Victor, when you do the screenings, are you going to have them on you're on Facebook, right? And you also have your email that's out there in the communities. Now,
yeah.
what if someone's listening to this broadcast and they're from another state? Are they able to come to the screenings that you have here in Newburgh? I know they're for everybody, or how would they sign up, and what should they have prepared so it can make your job easier, the job easier for their team that are doing that when they come to the center? Because I went to one before and there were some discrepancies because people thought they signed up, but they didn't sign up, they didn't come on time, and all those type of things, that people go through. So what needs to happen in order for them to have a successful screening when they come to one of your events?
Well, when they come to one of my events here in Craven County, uh, we were they do not have to live directly in Craven County. They have to live in one of the three counties, which is Craven, Jones, or Pamlico. We've even reached over to Onslow because we help out Onslow a lot. If
Mm-hmm.
you're actually from another state, then that's a whole different ball game. We because the state, the facility, the hospital that's um, uh, supporting me with the PSA and the DRE. Their nurses, their phlebotomists, all those are coming down to help the local area.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to keep it locally centralized residents. If you come and we try to do a time system, you got a 10 o'clock, you got a 10:15. We try to work that out, but sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly. So if you come and you miss your time, we still will get you in. Okay, we still will get you in. Let's say the hospital comes prepared to do 250, and
Mm-hmm.
we come to 200, and we still got 50 more. When people walk in, we'll continue to do it. But once they are finished what they have, normally we come through, like I said, about 250. When they run out of valves, because they got to have the valves to hold the blood, they got to have the paperwork and all that. So the reason why we will not screen someone that's not on the list is because we don't have the proper equipment to to do the screening. So that's the only reason a person will get turned back.
And by no means, Victor, am I saying that your event wasn't successful. It was totally successful. I had a great time. There were tables
Yeah,
with information about all types, prostate cancer, the treatments, and there was also people to talk to one-on-one, because you know what? If someone has been diagnosed, and this is just from the love that I have in my heart, from the God-given gift that He has given me, if
yeah,
someone has a diagnosis of any kind, they're distraught, they may be depressed, they may be feeling some type of way, they may overeat. There's a whole lot of emotions that are involved with that. So there's people on site that can talk you through the process. And like yourself, Victor, you're always available to talk people through the process because you've been there and you've helped a lot of other people. And I've been grateful that you've invited me to some of the the prostate screenings, and
yeah.
also some of the things that you taught out about prostate cancer. And me having 15 nephews and being around a lot of men in my life, it's been very valuable for me to have that information. If I'm just the only female that has the information, which makes it a valuable tool, because I may be able to save lives indirectly because you've given me the information. So I want to thank you for that.
Yes.
Now let's talk about real quick about the tests, because some people are scared of tests, and I want to end last with why men don't like the blue glove. So let's talk about the test and the treatment.
The real quick, I'm going to talk about that. But we have generated a card, and this is the Prostate Cancer Coalition of North Carolina. I'm part of that group. You can't see it. It's a QR code that you can see. I can give you these cards. You can click on it. It will give you information about the PSA as well as the DRE, the importance of screening, how to get screened. We got 2 videos that shows up on this card once you click on it. This is what we call it a prostate plan for men. So every man should have a prostate plan. All right.
Sure. Let me say something really quick. You can keep that card up for a couple of minutes because I just used my phone. And for those who don't know about QR codes, if you see a QR code, you take your camera and you bring it up to you take your camera and put it up to the QR code. And when there's going to be some yellow lines that go around the card, and then you click the link that's below it. And this one specifically says, move it over to the right a little bit, Victor. To the left, I'm sorry. And this one says VQR.VC when you do that. So it works. If you guys are watching this broadcast right now And sorry, Victor, you had to cover your handsome face. But the code, if you're seeing this video right now, if you just will have your phone and put your phone up to this video right now with where that QR code is, and click that VQ or that yellow address that goes there, you'll be able to get to right where Victor is talking about. So it does work, Victor. So you can still give out the cards, but if people are watching this video, they can do it right now. So thank you, Victor.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Yes, and then on the back we got questions. Know your numbers, meaning know your prostate PSA numbers. Consider baseline prostate screening with like I said, at the age of 40. Average prostate, which is PSA, prostate specific antigen. That's the PSA. What that means, the DRE, as I told you, digital rectal exam. And the purpose of what she asked, Miss Tracy asked me about the blue glove, and the blue glove is, I'm going to show you this first. This right here has a little button that says, tomorrow can't wait, meaning you need to get screened ASAP. You mean to get screening now. That means do not wait until next year. We've had people that gone to doctors and physicians that said there's issues with your prostate and you just blow it off and, well, I'll check it out later. And then later becomes next year. And then when you go next year, then your PSA is up higher and you could have done something about it when it was lower. So you can do something about it. The numbers are higher. Chance of not surviving is higher when the PSA and the stages are higher. So therefore, the early detection saves a lot of lives. So please make sure you do that. We also got a program here in North Carolina from our Prostate Cancer Coalition, Healthy Conversations. We're connected with the barbershops in different counties where the men are sitting there, okay? They're waiting to get a haircut. Why not have a conversation with them? We get involved in the barbers, the salons, and have conversation with them so they can have conversation with the guys and ladies that's sitting down waiting. So Healthy Conversations is a great program. I'm on the panel. I know we do it in Onslow, Cumberland County, which is Fayetteville. So Healthy Conversations. I'm going to start it here in New Bern, where I connect with all the barbers and have all the men in the salons as well. We can talk about prostate cancer. We can talk about breast cancer. We can talk about the A1Cs, whatever we need to talk about. Healthy Conversations is a good thing.
If a barber wants to have this, have healthy conversations at their barbershop, what do they need to do, Victor?
Just contact me, and I don't know, you're going to ask at the end my information. I will share it at the end of our conversation. But as for men, when it goes back to your original question about the light blue glove, men do not want to get the light blue glove because they feel that it's I'm trying to have a politically correct word to say online. It's uncomfortable one. It's uncomfortable, and it's not made to be comfortable. It's made to do what it's supposed to do, which is when you're checking your prostate cancer. Here is what it should feel like. If you do your fist like this is what it should feel like: soft, smooth, and everything. Okay. If you go up here by your knuckle and you feel this hardness up by your knuckle, that is something on your prostate, which is an abnormality, okay? Because it's supposed to be smooth. When it's here, abnormality on your prostate, that's what was felt on mine when they did mine, the DRE. So therefore, you need to do a further test, which is the biopsy, the MRI, to find out why is it as an abnormality on your prostate. When you go to your prostate, you can only reach one area, okay? Because the prostate sits at a certain area, you can only get to one hand, one part of it. Then you can the DRE, the biopsy can check everything. So men don't want to do it because, and I'm gonna be honest, Ms. Tracy, I've talked to thousands of men, and they said it's uncomfortable, unnecessary, and that. And I'm going to say it. I apologize to some that don't like the comment, but some men say that it will make them less than a man. I'm leave it that way. And I say to them is I sit back and I think and I look at them and I said, well, it's not meant to do that. And if it does that, and I'm just going to say you were already that way anyway. All right. They don't like my statement when I say that, because they only there for like maybe 2 to 3 seconds. They're not there long. They're not there for fun. They're there to do a medical exam, and then they out and up. I've even had a PSA DRE done by a lady, female urologist. Okay, because that's their job. I mean, they do thousands of them all the time. So they there, a couple of seconds, boom, 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 yeah, and then they go from there.
Okay, I just thought of something, and I'm just, this is always, we have these conversations.
Yeah.
So, what happens when you have the person that needs to get this DRE done, and they have been a prospect of sexual abuse? How do you get them through that? I mean, not you, but how can they be counseled to get through that?
That the QR code. If I could share this code, this is what my elevator speech is. If I'm in a hurry, they in a hurry, and we at the airport, I share this card with them, and they can read it they can look at it at their own leisure when they get home. This card has 2 videos. It will show you about the PSA. It will show you about the DRE and the purpose of the DRE. If they had a sexual trauma, at least they can start with the PSA.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them if they just can't get past that, at least get started with the PSA. The PSA, like I said, is a Pacific antigen, prostate Pacific antigen. That's what the PSA stands for. It's going to denote 69%. At least you've done 69% of what.
Absolutely.
So at least do something, and then eventually they're going to get to a point that, okay, let me do the rest. It's not there. They will get past it. You just got to slowly. You can't. They got a slow roll. You can't just come to them real hard and say you need to do it. Just talk to them nice. Let them know the PSA. At least do the PSA, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, that's good talk. Well, Victor, what's next for prostate cancer awareness here? I know it's over. It's over, but it's not over. It's still tomorrow. Someone will wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow, somebody's going to wake up and have the symptoms that you just described. So what do they do? It's not over. You can still make the appointment. You can still be proactive in trying to make sure that you're healthy. And also women, talk to your men, sisters, talk to your brothers, and talk to your sons. It's just all about having that conversation about being communicative and knowing that Victor's there. He's been there. He's a survivor. And that's who else not to speak to but Victor Taylor, who's going around the world speaking to men in Congress, speaking to people all over different states. And he has your best interests at hand. So, it's time for men to just, be accountable and women to be accountable for your man. Just like you want that coach bag and you nag them for the coach bag, or, I hate to say that, you nag them for the coach bag or the red bottom shoes, you need to nag them about getting them prostate.
There you go. Because, if a man, if I'm just speaking on the man point, if a man is not going to be, is not willing to do a screening for themselves, do a screening for your grandkids, your children, because they are the ones that want you here and they need you here. So please do it for that. And like you said, if you need what happens after today, the prostate cancer does not go away today. And like you said, you can reach out to me for support, for education. And remember, I'm an advocate for prostate cancer because I'm a prostate cancer survivor. And I don't want another man to have to go through it the way I went through it because I had no information about it. Support groups are key. Support, I call it a survivorship support group because without them, I don't know where I would be after I had surgery because I knew nothing what the side effects was. And then don't concern yourself with the side effects. I was 42 when I was diagnosed, and if I may be, when I saw the specialist, the urologist at Durham, which was Duke Doctors, they told me I had 2 choices, like I said earlier, and I told them I had 1 choice, do something about it. And they also asked them, be blunt and tell me what the side effects could be. Okay, be blunt, do not sugarcoat anything. So they told me it could be incontinence, there could be erectile dysfunction, and that time I said, well, I'm 42. Whatever I've done 42 years, I'm glad and thank God for. I want to see 43. So whatever needs
You
to,
have.
yeah, I had it, whatever I need to do, whether it my side effects is would have been ED, that's something I can live with. If it's when
You're
incontinence,
alive.
something as long as I'm alive. So men, don't concern yourself with I'm not gonna have sex anymore. I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore. At least you're doing something more. Okay, you're doing something, and then make sure if you have a spouse or a significant other, when you go to your doctors and you talk to your doctors and they talk to you about the conditions, the chances, side effects, or whatever, make sure they're there so they can hear from them as well as, and then now they can support you more because they've heard it, and now they're gonna have to live through it because it's a chance that it happens, it's a chance that it won't happen.
And
Like,
Victor, how do we? Because you've invited me to some of some of the places where you spoke about prostate cancer. How do we? Because some women may feel uncomfortable being in a room full of men, which I'm not. How do we, advocate for to invite women to these events? I mean, they're welcome because you've invited me, and there
yeah,
were some women that were there with their spouses, and I've heard stories about women who went through the whole ordeal. I think the one that tops my memory the most was the gentleman. I think he was in his 90s. We were at the Flame, and
yeah,
he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he survived it. And he's like in his 90s. You know the guy I'm talking about?
yeah,
90s, and his he had his significant other there, and there's others that have their significant others there. So that was definitely an inspiration to me to be there for whoever that to be there for men or for women and to talk to them about it. So just find out when they are. I would recommend you go and just get some information. I mean, it may not just be for you, but it may be for your sister's son, or it may be for your neighbor, or maybe for somebody else. Just spread the word about prostate cancer, and when Victor has these events, show up.
yes.
And
Thank
Victor, you give them your number and any information as to how they can get information about what you do, and if they want you to speak at their school, or I know you have some information that you can send on a person-to-person basis. Give
yes,
them your telephone number. They can call you, and I will say this: I know Victor is a very busy man, and we thank God for all the things he does in the community. And just leave a message, a professional message, and with your name, your number, your phone number, and your email, and he'll get back to you, I'm sure, as soon as he can.
okay. Yeah, again, Tracy, first I want to thank you for having me on today. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
being interested in sharing and having information being shared. Because this, like you said, this is the last day of prostate cancer awareness, but this is not the last day of prostate cancer education. Uh,
Mhm.
I will continue. Again, like she said, my name is Victor J. Taylor. My number is 252-617-2537. I'll say again, 252-617-2537. Also, my email, V as in Victor, J as in Jerome, Taylor, Taylor, 12 at yahoo.com. If you reach out to me, one of those, I will definitely reach back out to you. Now, I'm in a lot of meetings and a lot of events, so if I don't answer at that time, I will get back with you. I also have a Facebook page, Vision Forward NC. You can go on that Facebook page, or you can go on Prostate Cancer of Craven County Facebook page and share information. But those two first numbers are where you can reach me at the quickest. Um, I'm available to speak to the churches, the class reunions, the family reunions, businesses. I've already spoke to New Bern City municipality business, government buildings, Craven County buildings. So if you need me to speak, whether it's one person or it's 10,000 people, whatever, I don't care what the numbers are. I just want to share the information that I have so men can survive, another day.
Sounds great. Well, Victor, you have an amazing day. Thank you so much. And tell those here in Newburgh, North Carolina, who don't know or who are not aware of the new community center that we have here. And are they doing prostate screenings there?
The new community center is Stanley White. You are referring?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Stanley White. We have a new Stanley White Recreation Center. It's on the corner of 3rd Avenue and Broad Street. We will be bringing the prostate screening to Stanley White. I'm working on a date right now. I've already spoke with the director there. So the screening will be, I'm in contact with UNC Duke. We're going to be bringing it down. I'm going to bring Field Ford back down with me. I'm also trying to reach other dignitaries, other celebrities to New Bern, because there's a lot of people. One thing I want to tell you, and I said it yesterday in some meeting, prostate cancer or any other cancer does not discriminate. It does not discriminate. I don't care if you got $1 billion or you got $5, or you're white or you're black, or you're purple or you're orange, or you're whatever. It does not discriminate. Anyone can get it. As you heard, former President Biden, prostate cancer. I'm just going to say that from just that name. But there's a lot of names out here that you really don't know had prostate. And
I think Montel Jordan was I think Montel Jordan, yes.
Mention him. He's a double prostate cancer survivor. He's gone through it twice. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, David Sanborn, so many others that's going through it. So please don't think you're any different than anybody else. And the main thing, I always end my conversation with 3 words. And I need for everybody to sink it in and take it in, whether you're male or female, white, black, or whatever. The last 3 words I always leave is talk, talk, talk. So we can share what we're going through to help others. And that's because you're going through something, somebody else has gone through it before you. Okay.
You know what, Victor? I'm glad you said that, because the person there's a male right now that's watching this broadcast right now, and they have some of the symptoms, but they don't know, and they're kind of like trying to weigh the situation. However, if you do, or if you are feeling these symptoms or have something that you're going through that Victor talked about, your story is someone else's. It may be a story for someone else to get through right at the age that you are. You could be 32, you could be 33, you could be 41, you could be whatever age it is, but what you're going through, someone else needs to hear your success story. So get tested today. We need you around here for the long haul.
Because real quick, I can talk prostate cancer all day and probably all week and all month. But there's a case here in the United States that there was a gentleman that had prostate cancer, full-blown prostate cancer at the age of 28. So the age does not make a difference. Family history is important to find out if there's a history. Breast cancer, if you have breast cancer in your family, more likely one of the men got a chance of getting prostate cancer, vice versa. So if you're because when I was diagnosed, there was no cancer, as I said. However, I got 4 siblings. I got 2 of my siblings to get tested. Okay. One came back prostate cancer. The other one came back breast cancer. Same year, same month. I feel if I had not talked to them, they wouldn't have got tested. It would have been a later stage. However, both of them are breast cancer survivors, along with myself. And there's so much research out here. One of my brother that was diagnosed went through a proton therapy, non-invasive surgery. That's not even a surgery, it's just radiation. He's had 28 treatments. He's cancer. He's living. They got this thing that says cancer-free. They got it. We're going through it now. We don't want to say cancer-free because sometimes the cancer can come back. So we want to say living with cancer, but you got rid of the cancer that you had. All right. So proton therapy is a new system, program that's out here. So if you're going through any prostate cancer issues and you want to learn more about it, Google proton therapy and see if your state, because it's only available in certain states. Okay, so see if your state offered that. If not, reach out to Victor Taylor. We'll point you in the right direction.
Sounds good. Well, Victor, thank you. Have an amazing day today. God bless you, my friend.
Bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And thank you all who tuned in.